You're listening to Almost Famous with Jim Francis Meza, only on LA Talk Radio.
And we're back, guys. Another wonderful show of Almost Famous, the LA Talk Radio. Yours truly, Jim Francis Meza. Every week I brought you great, nothing but the best, cream of the crop, a guest in the house, and it's been nothing but a joy. I'm sorry to inform you guys that we're taking a nice break away from LA Talk Family Radio, but we're this is a family collective, so I'll be back in running soon enough. But in the meantime, you can find me on Jim Francis Meza. I'll be doing different pop-ups, different stuff. I'll probably be doing some of the stuff from home myself. But at any rate, I'm really excited, guys, because we're really off to the races, as I normally like to say. I am beyond thrilled because I'm basically, if you guys know me for any amount of time, I'm like a huge skating aficionado. I grew up skating. I lived close to Alhambra, California. So I lived close to Lance Mountain. It was a part of the Bones Brigade with Tony Hawk, Stevie Caballero. But my next guest tonight, guys, needs no introduction unless you're living under a rock. This guy is an iconic figure. A rarity, man. This dude does it all. He was a former skater, third generation, Dogtown boards. Let me hear it from Venice. Of course, he was born and raised in South Central California. It's not South LA. It's South Central, where we come from. American fine art and street. He's also a photographer, a renowned photographer. He's a direct entrepreneur. He has some of the stuff showcased galleries throughout the world, my friend. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce Mr. Pep Williams. Yo.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. That was cool.
Dude, I am beyond excited. I mean, for all of us that grew up watching skaters, I mean, you graced the cover of Thrasher magazine. And it's amazing, dude, like to have you here with me. You understand? I'm like fanboying.
Dude, it's amazing to be here. Man, this is cool.
Hey, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for making it out. I mean, I know you've done quite a bit of things and traveled the world extensively, not once, but probably several times, right? It's fair to say.
A lot. Yeah, it's been over 30
skating.
years of touring.
You started skating when you were in diapers, right?
What's up?
You started skating when you were in diapers.
I actually had just left diapers, so I was 4. I was 4 years old.
All right, right on. Dude, I don't know like where to start. I mean, you're a legend, man. Do you realize that? I mean, there's so many guys my age in their 40s and 50s that always looked up to you, and then the next gen.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Skate.
Awesome.
Huge. And so I was telling the viewership at here at Almost Famous and LA Talk Radio that I grew up close, not far from Alhambra, and as a kid, I used to go. I used to go see Lance Mountain, which I'm sure you knew growing up, and and the Bones Brigade cats that would come up there to see, perhaps. Do you know? Here's a fun fact. And it's just sidebar, real quick, before we get right into the meat and potatoes. Phil Spector, who's a criminal and a murderer.
That huge house out there.
Yeah, you know it. See? You knew it was across the street from Lance Mountain's house.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, the castle. There's like a castle over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, at any rate, that happens. But you grew up in South Central, so
I was born in Florence, and then we moved to Watts, and I pretty much was just there first, and then I started kicking it in Venice, like in the mid '80s, about that time. So I was born in Watts.
Nice.
Born in Florence, grew up in Watts, and raised in Venice.
Fantastic, bro.
Yeah.
What an amazing. I mean, like you are. It's insane because we're talking about 4 different places, and it enriches your life in more than one way. I mean, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, a birdie told me, bro. I know. Oh, by the way, I want to shout out to Messina, Jennifer Messina, our good friend.
What up, Jen?
She linked us up, man. You know, a birdie told me that you actually skated with Easy. What?
Yeah. So what people don't realize is back in the day, everybody had a skateboard. It wasn't a beach thing. It wasn't a surf thing or whatever. You had a basketball, you had a big wheel, and you had a skate. That's just what it was. So people were surprised when they started to see people from the inner city riding boards, but we've always done it. So E came down to the beach. This was back in '89. And then he was there with NWA with Dre and Cube and them. And then who was it? I forgot whose board he was riding, but he just said, "Let me see that board." Then he was cruising. And the thing about it, no one was like surprised because it was normal. Right. It was just simple cruise. Everybody can skate. You just lean forward.
Dude, so you skated with NWA, and there's like an iconic picture that really, I mean, it's fantastic. It kind of, as they say, it'll the picture can tell you, like, what is it?
Yeah, it was cool words, because after that was, I think, February, I'm thinking September-ish, something like that, at the end of summer. And then after that was a trade show. And then all the artists would go to the trade show to get endorsements at ASR.
Wow.
So at the trade show, I'm dressed a little different. And I roll up and E is having dinner. I said, "Hey, what's up?" He said, "Hey, you're the guy from the thing." I'm like, "Yeah." So we sat and we talked. And then he got a house out in Thousand Oaks area. So I'd be out there and out in Nagura. And then he had this big old black Mercedes. And then like he's all, "You everywhere." And I'm all, "Yeah," but yeah, he was really, really cool. Well, to me, he was cool. So
right.
Yeah.
And you dabbled also in music, and I kind of sort of don't want to be all over the place. So I want to start with like the skating and stuff. When did you get signed? You were a third generation Dogtown boards. This is Dogtown, so it's like South Venice, correct? It's like a part of Venice.
Well, like Dogtown is different. So what it is, so I started, like, we'll get to the Venice part, but I started skating in like '75.
Wow.
And I didn't even meet another skater until I was like 11. I didn't know people did it. I really didn't know. Like, I would just see them in BMX magazines because I had my BMX bike.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what are they doing riding where the bikes ride? I didn't know. I had no idea until we moved. And then this guy around the corner, his name is John Conti, dope transition skater. This guy, amazing. He was about 16. I was around 11. And then my mom would be like, "What is this old man doing riding a board?" Because he was 16 years old, because it was looked at as a toy.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the names of tricks. I didn't know the names of anything, but I was already ollieing up on curbs, like, before I even knew it was actually called an ollie. And it's just always been there, like a part of my life. And then I learned how to make fake bus passes when I was a kid. So then I would travel everywhere, Orange County, all the way out to like Thousand Oaks, Long Beach, Santa Ana, Irvine, like, you name it. Wherever the RTD went, I went. And then I started to find more people and friends, and I found Venice.
You found your tribe.
Venice.
You found your tribe in Venice, yeah.
It was the first time I saw people that looked like me, dressed like me, and they could skate.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, this is dope. So I kept coming back and looking like me, not so much being black, Mexican or something like that, but look like me being like where we're from, how we dress. Mm-hmm. So we all had like Pendletons, we all had like Levi's and Chucks. That's just what we wore. And then I said, dude, this is home. And then I got to know everybody and this and that. But Dogtown is actually from Santa Monica. It's in Santa Monica.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was always Venice for some reason.
Yeah, the original is from Santa Monica. Yeah.
Tony Alva and that whole.
Yeah.
Was it Hosoi was part of that? Hosoi?
Christian? No, Christian was back then. I believe he was with. He's been with so many brands. It's so hard to say, but like he was just down with everybody. We all skated at the beach.
That's beautiful.
Everything.
Bro.
Like this is a crazy story.
Right,
I was about maybe 15, 14 years old. And I had all these pictures on the wall because like when we get a magazine, you rip it apart and you put the pictures on the wall. I didn't know for about well over a year because I never would read the magazine. I just look at the pictures. And then I'm reading the names and I'm like, those are my friends. I had no idea. I'm looking at Jay Adams, Hosoi, Pat Noho, Aaron Murray, Oster, Dressen. And I'm like, dude, we skate every day. And I had no idea.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a classic story.
No idea.
That's fantastic.
yeah,
like,
because I never
skated
because of a magazine or because of something. I skated because it's just what I did. It's like if I started a walking club. You know, we all walk because we like to walk. So it was never about being sponsored.
Right.
Never about none of that. It's just that's just what we did on the daily.
Do you have any recollection of the pipeline in I think it was Upland? Do you remember the
like the difference is Upland. So I have a funny Upland story too.
Okay,
Upland was more transition skaters.
Okay.
We were about street schoolyards.
Right.
Running up and down Wilshire Boulevard from downtown to Santa Monica. Like that's what we were. Inglewood, South Bay, East LA. Like you couldn't keep me still in one spot. I had to go because there's so much to go skate. And I was never a park skater or, oh yeah, let's like go to a pipe. Okay, that's cool. But it was actually boring to me.
Right.
Because at a school, you got walls, you got water fountains, you got people, you know, and then the boardwalk, we swerve through people all the time to see if anyone hit somebody, you lose. I mean, just like you can't do that in like a park. So it was just always fun. Always.
That was cool, man. Yeah, some schools were also almost like built for skaters. Like little did they know the designers once upon a time that they were going to be designing a golden park for any skater, you know, like hop over the fence and
my two favorites, of course, Venice High was cool. They had a cool hip, but I love Kenter. Kenter was amazing. Kenter was in Brentwood. Well, it's still in Brentwood, and it just had these perfect little banks. Just nothing big,
right?
Like a Paul Revere. No, not Paul Revere. One of those schools over there off Sunset. I forget.
Yeah,
but
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it was just like I preferred Kenter, way better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's the highest you'd ever ollied? Because rumor has
that was my thing.
Skate.
That was my thing. So few people could ollie as high as me. There's only been because I think like when I was 14, 15, I was already almost like 6 feet. So I could ollie on top of cars. I mean, it was nothing to me. It was easy. One dude, his name was, and I'm talking about 87, 88. I was oddly over anything. I didn't care. And there's one dude, Shannon. Actually, no. They call him Black Silver. He's a hip hop artist now. They call him Black Silver, bro.
Okay.
Like the big trash cans, like the little iron ones or the big ones. He would do it casually. Like I'd have to set up for it.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, really?
Just effortless.
I couldn't believe
an effortless hop over something.
Effortless. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Wow.
But then you had guys who could ollie high doing 360s. Like there's these two guys, Duck and John, who they rode for World Industries, and they come down to Venice like all the time and kick it with Jeff Hartzell. So we all hung out.
Yeah.
Man, they were just powerhouses. Really, Duck, he was a powerhouse, just strong. I think it was Vietnamese or something. But this kid was brutal. Yeah, but I think I had one of the highest wall rides actually.
Wow.
Doing like it's called a Krell snatcher because it was almost like a ollie onto the wall, but it was like a smooth transition.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's so fast, right? Like you can miss it. It's how quick you get on that wall and you get off it.
Like it has to be precise. And the only real super wall riders that could go high was Chris Cook and Radigi. Like those guys were beasts off a flat. Like damn.
Really?
And that's who me and Cooksy skated almost every day. Slappies and walls. That's all we did. Yeah.
Tremendous, bro.
So much fun.
I bet. And was there ever, like, obviously there were fractures. You probably fractured your whole body in different places.
Never.
Right?
No? Never.
Not even for hand plans or anything?
Because I knew my limit. The only thing that hurts are sometimes my wrists.
Yeah.
Because of the falling and this and that. But nothing ever broke. But it was very, like, I never pushed myself to the point where I'm going to do a 360 flip to tail and fakey out. That was never my style. It was fast, hard, and direct. And that was me. But what these kids do now, whew, man. Next level.
Yeah. Yeah, you're always trying to, upstage the next guy. You're trying to, like, just take it, you want to take it, not only that, I mean, you just want to take it to the next realm, you figure, like, we've already plateaued here, so we want to just see what else we could jump over, hop over.
Well, here's a weird part. When you're young, you go after it, you try to figure it out. When you're older, you actually understand the technique, so it makes it easier. Right. But sometimes the body don't respond. Oh, and I had a good experience of that. I was at the ledges on Wilshire and Western, the famous little area right there.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing those slides, crooks or whatever, easy stuff. And there's a grate in the ground, and I hit it, and it pitched me forward, but my arms didn't work. I didn't go like this. It was just like, bam.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, dude. That's it. Forget it, longboard. Yeah. So now I just cruise on a longboard.
But you do tours, right? Like, don't you do like sign-ins?
I do signings. Yeah, signings and stuff. Mostly now for my photography, but maybe one or two a year with skating. But it's my focus is my photography because that's my passion. I would say it's my art. Let's
talk about that. Let's shift gears and talk about photography because you delve into it like in the 90s when there was a photographer that was missing or just quite didn't make it on time, right?
Yeah. What it was because I did runway for for a couple designers, or actually a lot. I did runway for a good 4 years, 2 years, I think. And this one photographer had double booked, but he chose to go with the other designer. And then the designer's freaking out, what are you going to do, blah, blah, blah. So I found out it paid $6,000. I said, I'm a photographer. And like, girl, wait, what? We had no idea. And then they asked to see my portfolio. Then I'm thinking, we don't have time for that. We have to get this done right now. And they said, okay. And they gave me the check. And then from there, because on all big shoots, your assistant does everything anyway. Okay. They set it up, they do all the stuff, and you go like this on the tripod. Super basic stuff. And then I thought I knew what I was doing about maybe 2 years in. So you're looking at around 97, 98-ish. I was like, oh, I can do it myself. No, I couldn't. Oh, I got a rude awakening.
Oh,
with a quickness. This guy made me shoot the shoot 3 times. Full on shoots with models. He's like, oh, this is horrible. Do it again. And then back then you had to print. You had to go to the lab. That took a day or two. The company was in Denver, so I had to ship the prints to Denver. So by the time they see it, it's almost 4 days later. And then they're saying, shoot it again. So that whole process took almost a month. And then they said, we love it, but we'll never work with you again.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, I still remember those guys.
Talk about trial and error, right? Until you finally got it done and you got it right. But then it became your career. Like it's your bread and butter now, right? These days.
Yeah, it was something like some of the day rates are really, really good. It's cool. And I did it for a while, 12 years, 13 years. And then I just got over it. It was very repetitive, I guess you could say.
Like monotonous.
Sure, like you're flying all over the world, you're doing stuff, but they're on your shoulder, they're on your back. Deadline this, got to get this, that, every single day. Deadline. I'm like, dude. And then after all that, you don't even own the prints.
Oh, man.
So I said, I'm good. And then I started shooting my own thing, like shooting exactly what I like touring with, Suicidal, touring with all these bands.
Did you like what I did with the Post?
Yeah, man, that was cool. That was cool. So then I got to do exactly what I wanted to do, and then I started to do shows and this and that. And then I said, "This is what I dig. This is what's dope."
And let me tell you something, man. I mean, this, and I'm going to interject you really quickly, and it will continue.
Yeah.
What's crazy is you just mentioned suicidal tendencies, and my wife lived out in Camarillo, right? She grew up in Camarillo back in the day. And so you remember the suicidal tendencies house they bought then they thrashed the whole house?
Make all crazy.
Yeah, it was my girl's house.
That's wild.
They bought that house from them, and then they thrashed the whole thing. It was on Condom Video because we found it on YouTube someplace. And I said, oh my God. So I thought I'd throw that in there, man. Like it
was funny because when I looked, when I saw the house, I'm like, that's not Mike. Mike's not that style. Mike's style is it's dope. I mean, this place is cool. Everything is clean, pristine, modern. Yeah, it's like, whoa, that's not Mike's style. Yeah.
Let's talk about fine art, bro. Like, I mean, what exactly is fine art for those that are not really versed in the whole art world?
Yeah, so fine art photography or fine art, basically, it's more when collectors buy your work, as opposed to shooting for a company or shooting for hire, I guess. Like I could shoot this lamp or something and make it look cool, and then I frame it, put it up, and then that's a fine art piece because it's actually art now. It isn't just like a photo in a magazine or for an album cover. And then you build like a community of like collectors and people who dig your work, and then you build more and more and more. And then from there, you start to look at photography differently because I can shoot exactly what I want. I shoot for me. People just dig it. Yeah. But I shoot for myself. I don't shoot because someone says, oh, let's go do all this. No, I'm going to shoot for me. If I want to shoot a rock, I'm shooting a rock.
So it's unrestrained. There's no like guidelines or rules or anything.
It's your pure expression. That's what I love about fine art because it's you. It's really you.
For whatever, for the sake of
everything from beginning to end. And then when I do collabs with people, with friends, like I've done stuff with Retina, I've done stuff with Risk, I've done stuff with a lot of other artists. Like I had this shot of Jay Adams, and I gave it to Kelly. Risk, I gave it to him, and he had it almost a year. And like he didn't want to touch it. I'm like, no, dude, do whatever you want. I don't care. Because that's your art. I'm not going to tell you, well, put this here and put that there. That's disrespectful. I'm like, dude, just do what you do. I don't care. Yep. And that's
Jay Adams was a skater, right? He was a skater as well, correct?
Who, Kelly?
Yeah.
Risk? Yeah, Risk.
That guy's a tagger. He's a graffiti artist.
He's like one of the biggest graffiti dudes.
Dude, big.
Yeah, good dude too. Yeah.
Did you ever dabble in any of that?
Huh?
Did you ever dabble in graffiti at all?
Back in junior high.
Yeah.
No, I know, even further back in elementary school. We moved to our grandmother's house.
Okay.
78, and around, like, because there are gangs in the area, like, a lot.
Right.
Never really paid attention to gangs, but there is like graffiti, but it was simple. It wasn't complicated. It was like dirt, 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 burr, burr, burr. So we were doing all that. I like write it on my grandmother's garage. I mean, it was, and I wasn't even banging. And
You were
I'm
getting
like,
up everywhere, all over
yeah,
the garage.
it was Grape Street. It was Hat Gang, A-Line
Watts,
Crip.
right? That's
I
Watts,
mean,
right?
like all these, yeah. And I love the way A-Line did their A. It went like up, up, and then bam, and then they made the line. It was dope. But
that's
this is
some creativity, bro.
I was like 7 years old. So, but I first got exposed to graffiti when I was in kindergarten. Where I lived in Florence, there was like these train tracks. I lived off of homes, and we'd walk to the library, and there's this big old wall, and it had all these funny looking letters on them. And I was like looking at them, and my mom said, "Don't look. Like, you shouldn't read that." I'm like, "Okay, of course I'm going to read it now." and it wound out being some of my friends' family on the wall because it was graffiti.
Right,
and
I
knew. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, those were the days, man. I remember LOD, Lokes on Dope, Sleaze, Chaka, all these cats. 125.
Chaka was a skater. Like Chaka used to skate when we were young.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. He lived he lived in Aliso Village. Remember, he lived like where was that El Pato sauce, like that hot sauce stuff.
Yeah.
It still smells like that, like jalapeno sauce and stuff. They still elaborated there, and it's crazy, bro. So you skate all the way down there? Did you go down there to the wash? Did you go down to that wash and like skate as well, like that wash?
Like things like that. The only washes I really enjoyed were in New Mexico and in Colorado, because it was they're long. Like they went forever. I was like, to me, all right, cool. You do a ollie, you do a backside, frontside grind, you do a rock and roll, frontside, backside. Okay, what's next? Gone. Like, let's go find a school. Let's go skate the street. That was just me. I couldn't be stuck.
So you're talking about so many emblematic parts of the city and whatnot. Like you say you have these schools in particular. I like how you characterize the one school because of the formation, the way it was made and whatnot. It allow you to skate and do your tricks and stuff. What other parts of LA would you say? Did you ever skate Pasadena at all, or other hoods? Because
everywhere, bro. Everywhere. When I say everywhere, like back in the day, the Yellow Pages had a list of all the RTD lines, right?
Right.
I've ridden every single bus in LA because I would mark it off.
Right.
It took several years, maybe from around 12 to maybe 16, because like you'd meet friends and they live like way over there. So you figure it out and you catch a bus. That's crazy, dude. I mean, that's just what I did. My limit was from Orange County to like Thousand Oaks area. Yeah. And then I realized, wait, there's more. There's a train that goes to San Diego. Now I'm skating with the dudes down there. Yeah. Board was always with me, wherever I went. Then as I got older, you know, you get your sponsor, you do whatever, and now you're touring, and it's cool in a way, but also bad in a way.
Yeah.
As you get older, because the bad part is when even now these young kids are living a life, making tons of money, but nobody is educating you on finance. Yeah. You're getting 10,000, 20,000, so you're blowing 20,000 that weekend just on your friends having a good time because there's another 20 coming. But it's like no one, like maybe it's better now, but I still see kids and they call me. They're like, "Man, Pep," and this, and I said, "Dude, just be smart, because time gonna come anyway, like regardless." So yeah, but have fun too. Don't just be all stuck up.
As I said, Father Time does not forgive, bro. Like time just passes us by, the fleeting moment, It
just goes.
So it skates through, right? And I was gonna say, When was it like the first time? When were you able to afford a house? Because I know like it takes off for a lot of you skaters, and then when did you buy your first house?
This is gonna make you laugh.
All right, go ahead.
When I started to make a little money skating, I didn't know that I could live in a place without a roommate. Because there's always someone on the couch, someone's over there. So I didn't know. Nobody taught me. Honestly, I did not know. So until I was probably mid 20s, and I'm like, cool, I got my girlfriend, I got my fiance. Let me start doing some adult stuff or whatever. I should have spent it, but anyway, I did what I did. Yeah.
Hey, so do you guys like sit around like you and the greats? To me, that's like all the greats. You like Hasoy, who's now I think he's a born again Christian pastor in Orange County. God bless him.
We all bump into each other every once in a while. They still do their events. A lot of them do, but that was like a chapter in my life.
Right.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
And it was cool. And if I dip back into it, it's cool. But I've done so much, and there's so much other cool stuff out there. Like I'll always skate. I was on my board like a couple of days ago. But I'm not, and it sucks with some of my friends how it's almost like you had so much love.
Right.
At that point. And then as you get older, wait, where'd the love go? Oh, wait, I got to run back.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like I get it, but yeah, hey, but that's their path and I love it. And they do what they do.
Right.
Yeah, but but it is a lot of love, I ain't gonna lie. Like the community, and I can see how it can be exceptionally addicting.
Right.
Like, oh, bro, it's love. Like I can go to any country in the world.
They know you.
Not even speak the language, and we're hanging out, and we're friends.
They'll flock over and just say, "Hey, you, what's up, bro? Like you're so and so."
Yeah. So it's hard to break away from that for like a lot of people, and the next thing you know, you're 50. It's like, whoa, what just happened? Yeah. Oh, I've seen it.
Hey, Pep. Whatever. Did you ever meet Gator by any chance?
Mark. Okay. So check this out.
Okay.
I can talk about a little bit of it, but
okay, no problem.
This was
whatever
about
you
can. 4 years ago. His manager reached out to me on my website. I said, "No way, Mark." I said, "What? Like Gator?" I said, "What's up?" So I couldn't talk to him directly. So she was relaying the messages between me and Mark. Mark is doing a charity that's helping trafficking, like a young kid trafficking or something like that. And we were just talking. He's like, "Oh, can you help me with this and that or whatever?" And blah, 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 blah. And then I was talking to the manager, and she was really cool. We talked a lot, and then it just went silent. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know what happened, but it was cool. But it was like she was that middle person controlling us talking. But yeah, bro, I remember when he was a superstar.
I love the fact that you keep your feet on the ground, bro. My dad always says it's okay to have your nose in the air so long as you keep your feet planted on the ground, and that seems to be the case with Mr. Pep Williams. I want to talk about the charity work. Speaking of which, if you don't mind, the organizations, you're part of a few, but the Art of Elysium.
Art of Elysium, Jennifer, she's dope. Yeah. So with the Art of Elysium, amazing organization. I've done things where I've brought a bunch of skateboards, like decks, and then the children from the hospitals, some have cancer, and they're like 8 years old, like 9 years old. And so I bring like 20, 30 boards, and we all paint on it.
Phenomenal.
And everything. And then you forget because they're kids having fun.
Yeah.
Until it's time for them to go and their doctors are there. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. So they do so much good through art to help kids to help a lot of people. So it's why I'm heavy with them.
Bless your heart,
Anytime
bro.
I do a show and I sell, I try to give to a lot, even Angel Food.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I always say it wrong. Is it Angel Food or Food Angel?
I think it's Angel's Food or something.
Yeah. Over in
My
Hollywood.
buddy is connected to it, and I couldn't tell you,
Yeah.
to be frank.
Yeah, like I know the people very well. I go there. I actually went there a couple times just to eat because they got a kitchen.
I got some killer food here.
Man, so cool what they do. They cook food every single day, and celebrities and people deliver it to the people that need it.
Can you imagine that, bro?
Yeah, every single day they do like something like 13, 14 million a year. It's insane. I mean, constantly. So there's a whole kitchen over on Vine here in Hollywood, and volunteers going. My friend Paulie Perret, she hooked me up with them.
That's
And
cool, man.
it was super cool. So like every year we do a thing where I donate a piece, and it's really cool to see people bidding on your work. It's
right.
It's like really cool to see that.
Project Angel Food. I think that's what
That's it. Project Angel Food. Yeah. Project Angel Food. Yeah.
My mind sometimes doesn't serve me well, but
yeah,
all those years.
Even though I deal with them, but I deal with the individuals. So I just say, oh, cool. I have a piece for you this year, and
bro.
So I love that stuff, dude. I dig it, and I speak at schools all the time. I think I'm speaking at a school next week, next Tuesday. Talking to little kids about
phenomenal.
Well, this will be about photography, so yeah, we'll talk about photography at this.
So you're like a mentor of sorts. If you think about it, it's your mentorship.
People hit me up literally daily, and I never say no.
It's awesome, man.
I never say no because I was that kid.
Yeah.
I remember when I was 14 in Venice, so it was like 85, and just a kid. Boards were expensive. I would borrow boards from friends, this, that, or whatever. Could never afford one. And then Jesse would give me skateboards. Jesse Martinez.
Yeah.
So he's the reason that kept me going. And then as I was getting better, Chris Cook would hook me up. Aaron Murray, Tim Jackson, like boards, wheels to keep me going. So I'm like, that completely changed my life. And I remember when I moved from Watts, like every morning at 9 a.m., it was about 13 or 14 kids knocking on my door. And my mom would be like, Pep, all these kids are here again. They would wake me up to go skate. And then I'd be like, all right, come on, let's go. So we would do our little caravan around the entire city.
A pilgrimage.
Bro, it was so much fun. But I was the one giving them product, keeping them skating. And then when I moved, I wasn't able to give them boards again. Yeah. Some of them got into gangs. Several of them got killed because they had nothing to do. So then from there, I reached out to Bob Boyle over at World Industries. And I'm like, dude, do you have any seconds, like some decks? And then he's like, Pep, whatever you need. So he'll give me tons and tons of boards. And I would give them to the kids to keep them skating. Kids just need something to do.
Yeah. And
every piece of trouble I've gotten into.
You saved lives. You really did.
Every piece of trouble I've gotten into was because I had nothing to do, because I was bored.
Ain't that the truth?
So till this day, if a kid sees me, they ask for a board, I say, come over. Or if I'm like writing something cool and I see a kid with one that's beat up, I just give it to him. I have so many skateboards.
Growing up, I parents couldn't afford. I'm from Northeast East LA, basically, and you say the Northeast LA because it's closer to Dodger Stadium, but it's same crap. It was beautiful, man. Growing up, a lot of kids that wound up later in gangs were skaters. Once upon a time, there was a skater craze in the 80s.
I knew them all, bro. I knew them all. And trust me.
And we're going to talk about a little bit. We're going to also delve into touch on I think it's state prison. You're like the one and only that went and did the behind
best,
the bars.
The best. Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. I just wanted to tell you that. So growing up, your parents couldn't afford boards either, so I would skate ramble boards from the swap meet.
Yep, I remember those.
Rosemead swap meet. Remember the Rosemead swap meet? And we go out to Rosemead, and I get a ramble board. And I'll say, "This is the one you're gonna get." And you ollied, and it would break in two because
it would break. It would actually be soft. It was like There was a board that had a flamingo on it.
Yeah, dude, I remember that.
Oh. Yeah, it was a flamingo, and there's another that had like a dragon. And I remember those.
Kind of like a Caballero of sorts, right?
Exactly.
It was a play on the Caballero. It was like a knockoff.
That was it. Yep.
Oh my God, dude. So who are your, like, real quick before we go on to talk about very important subject, the state prisons and your piece on that. I'd like to ask you who are like your heroes skate wise? Who are the guys you looked up to, like Mullins, Stacy, or who would it be?
Who I looked up to?
Was it the Z Boys?
I would have to say, I can tell you right now, Tim Jackson, Jesse Martinez, Chris Cook, Jeff Hartzell, John Thomas. Who else was there?
Wow.
That really influenced,
so
of course, Nadas, like Nadas, Mark Gonzalez.
Nadas Capas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, we used to go to his mom's house. Bro, I got the best story. I got to tell you. Sorry. Okay.
Tell it, dude.
Okay, so Nadas was cool, but he was very reserved. He was very reserved, dude. Yeah. So we'd skate in Santa Monica every once in a while. He was always by himself. And so we just come, like I would come actually. And he'd just be doing his little board slides and everything. And this is about 1986. So then we'd go to his mom's house. And his mom was so cool, right? She'd give us food. We'd hang out. We'd do whatever. And then years later, we're just, friends with everybody. Mom knows us very well. One time our wheels were really messed up. It was me, Herndon, and Julian Stranger. We were going, and he's like, come on, let's go get some wheels. We're like, okay, cool. So we're going, right, flat spots, right? So we go to Nadas's house, not his mom. His mom was next door. So we go to Nadas's house, and we're just in there, and he opens up the cabinet. And where there's supposed to be cups, bunch of wheels, like swear pockets. We're just grabbing wheels. I mean, so we're like, oh, cool, we got some wheels. Thank you, Julian. So as we're walking out of his house, Nadas and Rob Roscott pull up. And we're like, he gave us the most like stunned look you can ever imagine. We're like, but then it was cool afterwards.
Hey, like you saw Satan, right? Because that's what we used to tease. The running joke was Nadas was like evil because backwards. It's Satan backwards. Yeah. Nadas
is dope. I saw him. I went to his house maybe like a few years ago just to go visit. Yeah. Cool, yeah, just to say what's up. But yeah, Mark I saw maybe a couple years ago, just to hang.
Mark Gonzalez?
Yeah. Mark actually lived in Southgate.
Yeah, so, that's what I heard. He went to Southgate High School with B-Rails.
So when Mark would go away to contests, we would sneak to Southgate and ride his ramp. So we'd be like, all right, cool. He's at home, so we're going to go skate. Yeah.
Yo, this is fantastic. These are great kernels of truth. Hey, does he know this? Does he know this at all?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So it's common knowledge. Let's talk about the state prison before it gets really late.
That to me it's almost like a crowning jewel, but it's one of four. Because I have three more I'm planning to do. This is one.
Okay.
It took me about 4 years to get permission to do it because I was asking, denied. And then my friend Dennis Martinez was a speaker at the prisons. So he was always talking to help him out and everything. So then I asked, he's all, Pep, I can make it happen. I said, do what? So Dennis hooked it up. Next thing I know, I'm cruising down the 10, like 5 in the morning. And the first one was at Chuckawalla State Prison. So like I pull in and I'm just thinking, wow, how's it going to be? Just like TV. Big old gate. Bam. Guard in the tower with his rifle. It was wild, bro. And what I loved about it the most is because you couldn't wear logos, you have to dress normal, right? So when I was shooting, and I'm not sure if you notice in my images, no one is ever looking at me, except if it's a portrait. If it's like a group or something like that, because I blended in. I would sit with them.
Beautifully done, bro.
I'd talk with them. There's a picture. I'm not sure if you've seen it. The guy who has, it's the best gift I've ever received in my life. He has a tattooed face and there's like barbed wire in the back.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, okay. So I'm walking across the yard and the guy's all, hey. I'm like, uh-oh. Right, I haven't seen in movies, right?
About to get jumped.
Yeah, and then he's all, hey, you. And I looked. I said, yeah, what's up? He's all, come here. And you're not supposed to touch. You have to stay like 6 feet away. The guards see it. Some of the inmates see it. I'm thinking, well, I'm a big guy, whatever. So I walk over to him and he asks, can we pray? And I said, of course we can. So he holds out his hands and I grab his hands and he starts to pray. But it's what he's praying for. He's praying for my safety, not my safety inside the prison. He's all, you're safe in my house. I'm praying for your safety outside because that's where they're trying to get you to bring you here. The most beautiful gift I've ever received.
So profound.
It was amazing. These guys are so in tune with life. It's insane. It's almost like this. Like if you're 80 years old, you're not concerned with bills, rent, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about? That's what they think about because this was a lifer.
It's like an OG, right? It's like an OG of sorts.
Super OG cat. So it's a thing where they're at a place I can't even get to because my mind can't get that empty because I'm thinking of, oh boy, like what I have to do tomorrow and this and that. It will always be there. But for them, complete blank slate. So what do you think about? It is.
You're almost like fleshing out and dissecting everything, like life, and stripping it down to its bare bones.
Yeah. They're like so in tune. And what I wish there were more programs to get kids to go into the prisons to see this. Yeah. And not to like, what's that one? Scared Straight?
Yeah, Scared Straight. That
I think
show.
It was. No. It should be through love because these dudes are about love, bro. It's not about I'm tough. Sure, with the youngsters, it's you can see like a little something, but the older dudes were just nah, dude. We're keeping it cool. And then I asked the guard. I said, "Why is it so chill on this yard?" He's like, "Well, the reason is because we don't really deal with them like the politics or whatever. We let them handle it. So if a youngster comes in popping off, they got to answer to the OGs. That's how they keep the peace on the yard.
It's like the Algers.
Yeah.
Bro. The shot covers and stuff.
Yeah. So I was like, that's pretty cool. And it was so much that I forgot I was in prison until the guards come. But the one thing I missed, and I'm so like it bothers me till this day.
What's that?
We're on the yard and the sirens go off. Everybody hits the floor. That would have been the most amazing shot. But I hit the floor. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we weren't supposed to hit the floor because only the inmates do. But I wasn't thinking. Right. And I was like, man, that would have been a cool shot. There's only been a couple times I've missed
We're rationalized sometimes when under that, kind of situational thing, like with emergencies, and we're not. Since you're just irrational, you just do like whatever you see.
I was down, like I was an inmate. I mean, I'm
monkey
like,
see, monkey do.
Forget that. These fools is dropping. I'm dropping too.
Hey, real quick, our time is almost up, man. Believe it or not, so we'll have to at some point link up again, and you and I
100%.
will have to skate. Are you down to skate?
Man, Jim? For sure. I got my board right there. Look, I'm looking at it.
I got a Genie Staub still. My Genie Staub is in the car. Wow, look at that, dude.
This is what I cruise on. I've had this a long old time.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is like my Cadillac.
It's a way of life, dude. It changes you. Skating does change you, and it's changed your life for the better. And you're a blessing to my heart. Just to hear your story, going from Watts and Florence and going, to Venice, and then every corner, traveling by way of public transportation to be able to skate, and then giving back, which was what's given back to you by the first generation of skaters. It made my day, man. The fact that I get to chop it up with you, man. We would definitely have to break bread sometime and hang out with our girl, Messina. I just want to, thank you for this time, and also wanted to ask you if you can share with us the social media handles. Real quickly.
Super easy. Pep Williams on everything.
And I mean everything.
From Facebook, like pepwilliams.com. Instagram the same, Twitter or X, same thing. But it's cool.
Yeah. Man, it's almost like I'm just flabbergasted, dude. Like,
I want to go skate now, but it's raining.
I know, bro. It's it's pouring. It's nuts because unfortunately, like just a few weeks ago, it wasn't that long ago that we were facing fires and the drying and whatnot. It was completely, it was insane. The Santa Ana winds, blowing and whatnot. And a lot of our friends
lost their homes.
A lot of people that we knew. Yeah. So we count our blessings, man. But now it's rain. So it's supposed to be a torrential one tomorrow. It's supposed to really.
A lot of the roads are going to be flooded with the mud and the ash.
Yeah.
So it's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild, bro. It reminds me of Wild in the Streets, running Wild in the Streets. You remember, was it Thrasher, that movie Thrasher with Josh Brolin?
Thrasher,
I think so, right?
Yeah.
And Wild in the Streets, Circle Jerks. It's just great, man. To you speak my language because you and I I don't put myself in your compartment per se because you've done so many great and you're a pro skater, but we definitely have a lot of parallels with the skating world and
100%
music, man. And so definitely we'll have to link up soon. Otherwise, I just want to thank you guys. Pep Williams, follow this guy. He will enrich your life in more ways than one. Pep, that's my show. LA Talk Radio has been fun. Till next time, follow Jim Francis Meza, Almost Famous, baby. Keep on rocking in the free world. Thank you, Pep. God bless you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Cool.
You're listening to Almost Famous with Jim Francis Meza, only on LA Talk Radio.